I'm Kevin Jacobsen of Gold Derby here with Lisa Ann Walter, who plays Melissa Schemmenti, a second grade teacher on one of the year's best new shows, Abbott Elementary. And just to start at the beginning, I mean, you've been in the business for a minute
The
and you've done
year
quite
of
a
the flood.
there you go. And I mean, you've done quite a bit of TV, so I'm curious just what made the pilot special to you and just why this character felt like it was such a perfect fit for you.
Well, the writing is what made it special. You know, when you get a script, yes, I've done lots of stuff. I've co-created my own series. I've done other people's series. I've been, lucky enough to do some great movies. But when you get in particular, a network sitcom, because people don't expect it these days, I think it's a surprise. At least that's been sort of the reaction that when you get a script that has all of the elements, the characters are clearly defined, the comedy beats are there, but they're not forced. They're not like, here comes the joke, bam, oh, that was the joke. It was in the rhythm of a joke, but it was actually funny. It was actually clever. It was actually moving. I cried at a certain point, and I have to be honest with you and let you know that I'm a great audience, and I will cry if you swell the music or you squish the beat. I cried at the movie Car Wash when the old ex-con taught he convinced the young guy not to rob the joint. Like, I will cry at things, but this one was a genuine moment, and I thought, this is beautifully written. My character could have been me, or it could have been my mom. She was Sicilian, sure, she passed, but our family is Sicilian. She was a teacher in DC public schools. I knew this woman, I knew this world, and I said, this is perfect for me. And honestly, as an actor, you'll talk yourself out of things a lot of times. I mean, I'm all gung-ho, I'll go for anything if I like it. A lot of times when you're not working in the last year, your people will be like, well, it's not that bad. Like, they'll try to talk you into it, but I generally don't go for things unless I wouldn't be embarrassed to tell people I know that I'm in it. I'm weird like that. I have standards. But to have something that you really love and you go for, I want to put everything into this, part of you is like, I'm scared to do that because if I don't get it, I'm going to be destroyed. But in this one, I had no fear because I said, this is me. I dare anybody to be better at this job than I am. This is my part. It's mine. And I went and got it.
And here you are. Yeah.
You turn my phone off now. How about that?
You're good. I mean, I think maybe this is a role that could maybe go into a two-dimensional territory or be a stereotype and the kind of like no nonsense Italian American teacher. And she certainly has like a bold personality, and the writing kind of plays into her being this very street smart, tough woman, and she doesn't take anyone's crap, but she really does feel like a three-dimensional person. And I'm curious, just how did you find the right tone, not only for just making the character three-dimensional, but also having it fit in this kind of mockumentary style show?
Okay, so those are great questions. If I forget where I'm going, follow the breadcrumbs back.
Okay.
A couple of things. Number one, because my family is Sicilian and I know these people, they're my family. They still live in the tri-state area. I'm going to see them in Staten Island in a couple of weeks. There is a toughness around them. There is a, let me handle this. I know a guy, but it's that kind of bragging people associate with, oh, she's mobbed up. And it's not that. It's, I'm going to take care of you because I don't trust anybody else to take care of you. I'm going to do it. So there's a whole Sicilian world of, we don't trust anybody but our own. There's historical reasons for that. A lot of places, Ukraine is one, where if you get boned by all the surrounding countries, including your own mainland, you don't trust anybody. You only trust your own people. That's where Cosa Nostra came from. That's where the neighborhood mobs, if there was such a thing, developed when they came to this country because they weren't protected by the cops, so they protect each other. And a lot of ethnic groups really relate to that. I think that making her three-dimensional was just a question of the fact that I know that these people are three-dimensional. It's easy to, if you're not in this world, to write towards one note, that, she knows a guy, it fell off the truck, she's, a broad. And I've played those parts in the past. I know we're going to rat my hair. She's getting, they asked me to play these parts on, like procedurals. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I pop my head out of take two. I pop my head out of the trailer at the trailer park and go, I didn't kill him, but I ain't sorry he's dead. That type of character is one note. But Melissa, based on real people that I know, is heart. She might cover it, but she's 100% heart. She's 100% passion. She would kill for the people that matter to her. And tapping into that was easy for me because it is my people. So I'm not from the outside playing it. I think being able to infuse the character with some of the slang that they gave me some freedom to do made her relatable to people from that community. At least that's what I'm reading online. It's not often that you hear a character on TV say, how'd that feel? That, of course, that was going to come back and bite you in the coolie. Like, people were specific about, I've never heard anybody say coolie in a TV show. So it was it's a really great thing to be able to play that. And then there was something else that you asked me towards the end. What was the end?
Yeah, just about adapting to like a mockumentary style series like this.
Right. Thank you. So that part of it is a great avenue into not just my character, but I absolutely feel it, that they get caught in moments. Melissa gets caught in a moment where she's softer. One of my favorite beats is in the art teacher episode where I played really pissed. And, there was a lot of our audience that loved that she went very calmly for taking her earrings off, which, is my personal history from growing up in DC. But for me, my favorite beat in that episode was holding up the paper plate of the bunny that one of her first students made, because this was a project that was her first, that the kids liked, that they embraced her, and vice versa. And her guard is down because the camera is finding that moment. And that the softness or the worry that a character might have when she starts to become comfortable with the camera crew, when she stops being like, who are you again? Why am I telling you anything about my life? Why would I trust you?
Like fearing that they're the cops.
Right. When she gets past that and she's like, these are now my confidants, kind of, they get to have a window in that other people might not, maybe not even Barbara. When, the camera catches Melissa when Barbara really hurts her feelings and says, you're in the mud people, the camera is the one who sees the hurt on Melissa's face. So it's a really fun use of that medium, I think, this style for everybody, not just for me.
I agree. And I think that's part of why people are responding to it, because you get those real moments.
Yeah.
You did touch on Barbara there. I do want to talk about that pairing, the two of you. I mean, yeah, exactly. Cheryl Lee Ralph. I mean, I've seen that a few people online have said like you should play like a crime fighting duo in something else, like next season of True Detective. Let's do it. Because the two of you just play off each other so well. Like, you've known each other for years, which is true for these characters. So I mean, how did you just develop that with Cheryl?
I mean, I won't speak for her, but she has said also in the past, from the minute we sat down next to each other in what became our seats in the teacher's lounge. And it's funny, we'll have new directors come in, as we do for each episode, and they'll be like, and Melissa, why don't we sit at this table? And everybody, not just us, the crew, the other actors will be like, no, Barbara and Melissa sit right here. They sit together always. And we felt that connection from the beginning. And I think it's because we're of the same generation. We both came out of New York. We have similar life experiences where we both got divorced and then we were financially responsible for kids and trying to do it in this business and the uncertainty that is that life. And having to become strong and rely on ourselves, but still believe in love and romance and be, I don't know, dynamic. We're very similar. We're very similar in that we're both very forceful and we're alpha, but we don't clash. Like, I think I give way to her. I'm going to be honest. If we're like in she'll probably say the same about me. If we're in like a thing where we're both talking and she has something to say, I'm like, go ahead, Madam President, speak. Yeah, she's a queen. And I think that's similar to how the character feels, how Melissa feels about Barbara, that she was there before Melissa came, that she helped Melissa, and that she is the queen, and there is no arguing it. But we just get along famously. We're, yeah, partners in crime. I think the audience nailed it. Well, we might not let anybody else see into this grouping, but I love hanging out with her. I mean, us shopping together is magnificent. We are beasts. We will not stop. We will not be deterred. We will find the item and talk them into giving it to us, for a deep discount.
And I think we would all watch that show too.
Yeah, bargain hunting with Barbara and Melissa.
Love it. Well, speaking to more of your actors, I mean, working with Quinta Brunson, not only as your co-star, but also as the showrunner, how much does that sort of aid in your process to just have someone who's been there as an actor and gone through the same kind of struggles as an actor, maybe, and just knows what you need, just to have that person also be the one that's in charge?
I'll tell you the truth. I constantly am worried about her. And I have to stop myself as being a mom of 4 and being a naturally maternal, nurturing person, which also, Cheryl is too. I have to stop myself from trying to mommy her. And like, when did you eat last? Are you resting enough? Like, are you doing too much? Like, she's my boss and she's perfectly capable, but she's my daughter's age. So I feel very protective of her, even though she has got everything just buttoned down. She's got the wardrobe, taken care of, and she's looking at pictures sitting on the floor in the hallway. And then somebody asks her a question about the set for next week, and okay, give me 1 second, I'm going to go look at it. And then she's making casting decisions on the fly. She is a miracle. I mean, honestly, I did her job. I was nowhere near as good at it as she is. At probably the same age, and I don't often say that. I usually can't wait to brag about I did something great. She's incredibly gifted at being a showrunner. The writing part of it is fantastic because she's right there, and she's also creative. And she came out of a very, and I've done a lot of this work too, scene work or unscripted stuff or shooting sketchy type stuff where you bring your camera people in and things change in the moment and you come up with an idea and then you go, okay, yeah, let's do that. And because she comes out of that, it's not like she's changing things all day long or everybody is ad-libbing. We have great writers and we do their script. But if somebody just happens to say something, I think I had a line in the desking episode where we see that the room, the way we set up all the desks in the gym has become desking Six Flags. I say, what did I say? It was, what fresh hell is this? Like I did a Shakespeare line out of nowhere and she was like, keep it. Yeah. And I think having her there for those moments, or if we say, hey, is it okay if I use this word? And she's like, yeah, or let me check. It's easy. It keeps the creative flow going. You don't have to stop everything, call to a writer's room, get somebody to like come to the floor or get back to you. She's right there. And she's super open and creative. So it's helpful. But also on top of all of that, and I don't think I say this enough, she's a really good actor. I mean, I think she picked good actors across the board, if I may say so. But she's really talented. She plays like a whole lot of different subtext in one, talking headpiece to camera or in a scene. She's gifted. We're lucky.
Well, I mean, maybe speaking to that. No, that was beautiful. I mean,
you think I got my job is safe for next year with all that?
I think you're probably good. Yeah. But I mean, just taking on this kind of like a teacher role, I was wondering if there was anything in just doing the show for a season now that maybe you realized certain things about teaching or just made you appreciate the profession more, whether it's just, the scripts or just the themes that you're tackling or the physicality or the stamina. Like how much has it just like opened your eyes to the kind of like struggles that that profession it kind of requires.
Well, it's interesting because my mom was a teacher in public
Hmm.
schools, so I grew up seeing it,
Right.
both from the budget struggles, also to how exhausting it is. She was a homeschool teacher for kids that were terminally ill. That was the most emotionally draining because she loved the kids that she taught. So it was really difficult. My daughter is a teacher for kids on the spectrum. So she, from the very beginning, when she first graduated college, before she went back to get her master's, now she's getting her PhD. Yes, I'm bragging. But she was my good student out of all 4 kids. She had situations where she was dealing with kids that were physically violent. Had to have incredible patience. I am not the most patient person in the world, but I'm direct and I'm funny and I'm strong. So when I deal with my kids in the classroom, and I'm also a mother of 4, so sort of controlling the room and making sure kids do what I tell them to do is not new to me. I know how to do it. I had twins whose father was an Olympic decathlete, so they were fast. So if I wasn't loud and strong-willed, they would have just run off. I had to
Yeah.
do this now. And so I think controlling the classroom it's not a hardship for me. In fact, I love it because I miss having little kids around too. They're curious and they're beautiful and they want to hear what you have to say and they still think you're cool. Mine are grown. They think I'm a jerk. So I love, probably not, but well, maybe my twins, they're 21. They probably think I don't know anything, but I loved having the kids around. I don't do it all day. I do it for a certain amount of time and then I hand them back to their real onset teachers.
Right.
So the stuff that I recognize that has become increasingly difficult over the years are the things that are new. When my kids had to start doing active shooter drills, when I went to go look at my kids' schools and on the fence was like, blah, blah, blah elementary brought to you by Gary Rosenbaum, DDS, because he's the one who paid for the blacktop to be resurfaced. You have to get people to donate money to pay for your kids' schools now. So stuff like that is new. Having 40 kids per class is new. There were 20 when we were growing up. That's optimum for learning. So how are teachers going to control? You think about a teacher. I have 3 boys and a girl. How's a teacher going to control 20 13-year-old boys? You keep them in their seat, keep them from, spinning out of control, having hormonal moments. Come on. The girls aren't better, by the way. I'm acting like it's just boys. It's not. Everybody's hormonal at 13. But you can't have 40 of them in a class, We need to pay teachers like triple.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah.
And maybe
that's because it's always historically been a female-led profession, predominantly female profession. That's why.
I mean, maybe shows like this can actually be advocates in a way.
You know what, Kevin, what I've been seeing online, which really makes me very gratified, besides the fact that I get to do a show where I love my co-stars, I love the work, I love the scripts, it's funny and people love it, so it's a hit, and the money's good, all of that great stuff. I go online and I see people say things like, I stopped pursuing my teacher's credentials, I think I'm going to go back. Or the men who say, I didn't think I was going to finish becoming a teacher because, there are other jobs that have more prestige, but the Gregory character has inspired them, Gregory and Jacob. And they're like, maybe it is important. Maybe I'll go back and do it. And I'm blown away. If we have any of that impact on people, for teachers to be seen and feel like they're whole humans, not the jerk person in the movie, who's ruling over people, or the idiot that doesn't really know anything, but real human beings with flaws and greatness and the calling to do it. It's just a blessing. I'm really lucky. I told Quinta when we shot the pilot, look, if all that happens is that teachers all over the country find this show and love it, it'll be a monster hit and you will have done a wonderful thing for the profession and for the country.
And look what's happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful note to end on. For those of you watching, subscribe for more interviews and go to goldderby.com and make your Emmy predictions. Truly, Lisa, thank you so much for talking with me today.
You're so welcome, Kevin. It's my pleasure.